Hello, everyone. Very happy to have another young Indian with us, part of the Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Sarthak Bhardwaj. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Sarthak.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, sir, for having me on this platform. And I am really happy to be here today. And so I am currently in the first year of my master's, and I am pursuing my master's in economics and institutions from the University of Marburg, that is in Germany. And I am interested in the field of sustainability and rural development. And before coming to Germany, actually, I was uh, working on grassroots level in Jharkhand, and I have worked with an organization called Urvira, which was working in rural Jharkhand and was working with farmers to help them improve the soil quality level in their farms so that the dependence of farmers on pesticides and on chemical fertilizers would eventually reduce. And after having worked there for around 9 to 10 months, I went on to work in Bangalore in an NGO, which is called the AssisTech Foundation. And there we were working for the people with disabilities, and we were involved with a lot of startups that provide and develop technology for people with disabilities. And so we were, as an organization, helping the startups connect with various money lenders and various CSR groups, and helping them develop their products or help them with getting more users. So that is the organization that I was working for. And after having worked there for around a year, I planned to pursue my higher studies, and Germany was one of the countries that was very lucrative to me, given my nature and given um, how this country approaches education. And after having applied to various universities, I was lucky enough to have secured an admission at the Marburg University. And here I am in my second semester studying economics and institutions from, I feel, the one of the best uh, uh, pool of people and professors, and uh, getting to experience such a diverse environment.
Okay, tell us about your days before you started working in Jharkhand.
Okay. So that time was actually spent in a lot of self-inquiry and understanding who I am as a person and what is it that I want to do in my life. Um, and COVID being the time, uh, COVID actually brought a lot of uncertainties for all of us. And that time actually happened to be one of the most fruitful times of my life because I got a lot of time to reflect on what I want to do in life and where do I see myself in the next 10 years or 20 years, and what is the contribution I want to make in this world, and how is it that I want to contribute. So, um, after having done a lot of self-inquiry, with respect to my course of action, I was able to zero down upon this fact that I am deeply interested in permaculture as a way and as a philosophy to approach sustainability. And actually, I spent a lot of time growing food on my terrace just to experiment with permaculture. And after having successfully built a really good terrace garden, I decided that now I want to move out into the real world and apply these principles and ideas onto real farmland and onto a wider canvas. And that is when I happened to meet a person called Rahul Lodha on LinkedIn, through LinkedIn. And we found that there was an instant connect between us, and we decided that we could partner together and work towards the sustainable development of the particular village that Rahul was based out of. So I then moved to his village, and we were doing a lot of activities there.
Could you
Yeah,
explain the principles that you just mentioned, principles behind it? How does it work?
sure. So permaculture is derived out of two words, which is permanent and culture. And this is a design philosophy that talks about firstly, understanding nature, and then understanding how those principles can be applied into real and practical life. So that is what permaculture is based on, and it has few ethics and few principles listed that sort of give you a direction in which you can think, and it gives you the flexibility to apply those ideas and those principles into a local context, which is different everywhere. So, using those foundational principles, you could actually devise your own approach to sustainability and towards problems that are pertaining to the vicinity you live in or the scope of your own work. So it has three ethics, which is earth care, people care, and fair share. These are the three ethics of permaculture, and it has 12 principles. Um, well, it's difficult for me to actually um, explain each of them, but
No, don't bother. Just tell us briefly.
yeah, sure. So briefly, it would be like you try to reduce your waste, you try to use whatever is available in your vicinity, you try to um, observe how a forest works and apply those principles of nature and the principles of sustainability that a forest uses to manage itself, to keep its life cycle going. So using those principles, you could sort of apply those in your agricultural practices, and making sure that you have a sustainable economics involved as part of this approach, because we're not just talking about sustainability from an outward perspective. It also has to be financially sustainable. It has to um, feed uh, not just the the people dependent on a system, but it should be able to produce more so that the system actually becomes self-sustainable, and um, more and more of output is produced through less and less of input. So this is how I would like to briefly explain some of the principles of permaculture.
Okay, good. We understand the culture and the whole idea behind it. But what was your undergraduate in?
It was in BCom.
Okay,
Um, yeah, so actually I was pursuing CA on the side, but I quickly realized that it was not a cup of my tea, and I then did not pursue that path. I just completed my graduation, and then parallelly I was um, self-educating myself on um, philosophy, on yoga, and on permaculture. So these are the three things which I feel have um, given me a lens through which I view the world, and they have been quite foundational and um, very important in terms of my growth and my purview towards life.
okay. All right. And what do you hope to do with this degree that you are enrolled in?
So I I've been wanting to work in the sustainability field, and one of the reasons I chose Europe as a destination for my master's was because of the fact that a lot of work in sustainability is actually being carried out here in Europe. And I wanted to be a part of that change and I wanted to contribute my efforts towards that. And while I get to work here in this field, I also want to contribute towards the sustainable development of my home country and keep contributing in projects that are working on sustainable development or rural development or towards um, improving the agricultural practices and um, so on and so forth. Yeah,
Okay. And tell us a little bit about how life was in Jharkhand. Which part of Jharkhand were you in? And how was
yeah,
life for you? And what were the achievements that you had?
sure. So we were working out in a district called East Singhbhum, which was very close to the Bengal border. So the local language spoken there was actually Bengali because it was so close to the Bengal border. And um, the life there was very simple, uh, very rustic, I would say. Um, Still, a lot of technology hadn't reached that area, and the roads were quite narrow, and um, the structures were quite primitive, and um, uh, it was completely different from what I had been living, what I had been used to, because I was brought up in a city and I never really had seen the rural parts of India before actually going to Jharkhand and taking this big step. So it was uh, a lot of change and uh, it's a lot of change for me, and it actually also changed a lot of my perspectives. Um, I found that there was a lot of things pertaining to how people think, how people operate, and how people go about their daily lives. Uh, so all of these aspects were quite different from what I had been used to in the city. So yeah, it was a completely new um, horizon, I would say, that I got to experience there.
And what's the lesson that you learned?
Um, a lot of resilience, um, because people were not really dependent on um, external solutions when it comes to uh, solving problems. It was mainly their own um, understanding of how they have evolved in this kind of an environment that was helping them live and survive compared to the solutions from the West or the modern world solutions. Secondly, uh, um, a lot of new sort of a learning that I was never really able to learn through education. That was quite new and quite fresh, I would say, because uh, when one reads a book, it is somebody else's perspective and somebody else's thought that you're trying to imbibe and try to understand. But when you actually see things from your own eyes and you see things from real, it hits you in a different way compared to uh, if you were to read a book or, say, for example, watch a video on the internet. So, a lot of things that I had assumed I understand or I learned through my education system were actually uh, were were not really helping me in my life, in my living in Jharkhand. And I had to learn a lot of new things from the scratch, from the basic, from the ground up to sort of survive in that environment initially, and then to stabilize myself and then to thrive. Yeah,
Okay, but you don't speak Bengali, do you?
I don't,
How did you manage?
but surprisingly, I picked up the language very early because it has some resemblance with Hindi. Hindi being my mother tongue, I was able to understand a lot of things, and I picked up on the language very quickly. So by the end of my time there, I was like almost able to understand conversational Bengali, and I had no problems adjusting to the local language. And actually, that insight that I am able to pick up languages very quickly gave me this idea that I would want to learn a foreign language now. And that is actually when I decided that I want to learn German. And I started pursuing the language learning parallelly while I was applying for colleges. And all the language learning that I had done before I came to Germany actually helped me in my life here. So this observation about my own self that I have a knack for learning languages helped me in taking this decision that I want to move out for my master's and I want to move to a country where uh, I may not know the local language, but I'll quickly be able to pick it up. So that is the confidence that I got from living in Jharkhand and picking up Bengali so quickly. So
And
that
you
was one
also,
of the,
and I can say that you figured out how to live in a foreign country, in a large city, and in a village in Jharkhand. You have the
yeah,
flexibility,
yes,
right? So you have
exactly,
the flexibility. You didn't live in
right,
disgust, right? You didn't leave Jharkhand
yes,
in disgust. You lived there. You got on
yes,
with it. You did what you had to do. All right. Anything else
exactly.
you want to add here?
Um, so I would like to briefly mention about what I'm doing here. Here I'm in my time here in Germany is spent studying uh, a lot of amazing courses. Um, it is spent in meeting a lot of people from various countries. Germany being a hub for education, um, I get the opportunity to meet people from various countries. So I get the opportunity to learn from their culture, from their background, and I get to listen to so many diverse stories, and all of those um, have been able to build uh, a sense of understanding that I would have not been able to build if I were to just be in India. So that's one of the great ways of learning that I'm really enjoying. Uh, Next being that I travel a lot on my bike. Um, since Germany has such beautiful biking infrastructure, I get the opportunity to go long distances on my bike and observe the expanse of this country and the beauty of this country while on my bike. And I also spend a lot of time hiking here. Marburg being a place with a lot of hills and a lot of mountains, I spend a lot of time hiking and observing forests and being amidst nature and uh, trying to understand how things work differently here, given the climate is so different compared to India. So I've been actually making use of this opportunity to its full uh, to its fullest actually, and uh, I wouldn't have liked it in any other way than this. So
Okay.
it's quite an enriching experience.
Right. Well, since you are profiting and benefiting from it, I think others might also be interested. Um, are you paying for it or are you getting a scholarship? That's a question young people will ask. So let me ask on their behalf.
Sure. So Germany actually has a educational system which is funded by the government, and that's true also for people who are applying from other countries. So even if an immigrant applies, is looking for applying to a German public university, they can be rest assured that they would not have to pay any tuition fees. And the only fee that I pay is called the semester contribution, which can uh, range somewhere from 200 euros to say 900 euros for one semester. And that involves a lot of benefits like the access to a lot of facilities from the university and access to the public transport and so on and so forth. So I take care of my living expenses and my semester contribution. So these are the only two expenses that I have. And as I said, that tuition fees is completely taken care of by the government.
Okay.
So if I were to give you like a brief number that I would be spending for 2 years of my education, that would be around 20 lakhs, including my accommodation and including all the services that I avail from the university.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sarthak. Anything else you want to add here?
Um, the only thing I'd like to add and probably say to the viewers is that I try to find not what is being hyped right now in the market, but something that you are really interested in and have a calling for, and try to pursue that. And um, the sky is the limit if you are really able to pursue something that interests you truly. So, yeah, that's the only thing I would
Okay.
like to end this with.
All right, good. All right, so Sarthak, thank you. It's very interesting to hear. I had not heard of this institution in Germany, so I'm glad that you've told us about it. And I'm sure the other young people who are thinking of going abroad might also be benefiting from it. And let's end it here today. Stay online. I want to talk to you a little bit. So let's end the recording here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert. Till then, bye, everybody.